Welcome back again. You're still watching us here on Cairo Local Time. I'm very much delighted to have joining me here in the studio this afternoon Dr. Sahar Hilali, who is a professor at the Academy of Arts and a ballerina. And she's going to tell us a lot about this form of art, not just about the upcoming event that's expected to take place next October in Luxor, more about the importance and the significance of Opera Aida and this beautiful art that a lot of people are not aware of, the beauty of it and what really holds behind that, and the hard work that has to be done on a daily basis, according to the little chit-chat I had the honor to have with her before we go on air. Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
And let's first start talking about the importance of this event, and from there maybe you can explain to the viewers more what is Opera Aida?
Actually, event of Aida, because this time it's going to be present in Luxor, Hatshepsut Temple, which I performed years ago. I was one of the people who participated in Aida Rossi at the time. Years ago, it was at 97, 98, and it gave me many memories. But the event itself, it's very culture touristical event. It's not only tourists that people are coming to watch a temple or Luxor as a city, or coming to the opera house to hear an art, an opera like Aida or any other opera, but it's both. And the magic is to be in the place where the story is written.
Yes, Egypt.
Egypt, in the temples, the real temple. It's not decor. This time it's real. And you have the sky, the stars, the good weather. And with that, you hear the most beautiful music, which is written by Verdi. You see Egypt, the ancient Egypt, and you see the costume, you see the music, you see the opera singers, the best from all over the world are dreaming to come and sing in Egypt, in the temples of Egypt. I can say that many tourists in all over the world would dream to assist and to watch this moment, because it's very particular to group all that. When they present it in any opera house all over the world, they try to imitate our temples, our sphinx, our pyramids, our temples. But here it's the original.
So there's always a soul.
Yeah.
There's always something about it when it's held here in Egypt.
It's magic.
It is.
You are in a magic moment, and you leave the story, and you get in. So it's really event, culture, artistical, international event. And it's the best image that we can present to all over the world, that we are the land of art and peace.
Definitely. Now, speaking of this form of art particularly, if we're going to talk about this performance also specifically, in light of the upcoming event, we're witnessing fully booked tickets, actually, and even VIP guests, if we're talking about queens or high-profile delegations from around the world, were very eager and keen. Again, how does this reflect on how much of understanding can a person get from such performance? Because does it have to be someone who directly knows ballet or this form of art, or is any normal person being inspired? Because I believe that a lot of people would watch and say, I don't really understand it. I feel the intensity of it, but I don't really understand it. So do you have to understand it, or what kind of people does it attract?
Actually, in an event which is in open air like that, usually at the opera house, we put translation in the screens to help the Egyptian public to understand what's going on. But when it's open like that, I don't know how it's going to be managed yet. Maybe they would put a screen to have and translation in Arabic. Otherwise, everybody, most of the other European and American countries had read about the story before.
Yes, that's the
Plus
thing.
that you have a program, a little book, which is written the story and sequences and all the details.
So you know what you're going to.
Yes, you know
come
the story
specifically because you want to watch it.
Yes, you come to see something like Hollywood when they open for you the shooting day. But it's not a minute, it's hours.
Yes, maybe we were talking right before we went on air on how Opera Aida, or Aida as you said, has been performed throughout a very long time, centuries and years and years. And maybe I asked you, has it always been performed in the same technique? And it's quite understood that there's the set that doesn't change, but the artistic part of interpreting that does upgrade. You've performed it a couple of years ago, you said. It's been performed after you, it's been performed before you. What do you think is the best version of it? I know it's a bit of a difficult question to ask, but because you're an academic professor and a practitioner, how do you feel about the changes that has been taking place throughout the year for this performance?
Actually, I have did hundreds of Aida with many directors, Italian or Egyptian or open. So I work with many places, indoors, outdoors, in many events, in the pyramids, in Luxor, in Hatshepsut before, and each director is putting his image. And it's always the music and the poet is the same. The way that they're singing, it's technique. We don't change that. What they change is from where Aida will get in here, left or right, and even sometimes for the voice, it's written that she has to get from the left or the right. Because of the voice, it's written in the part. We don't play so much with that, but we can play with the design of the costume. We can accessories, make it more rich. We can add in the scene more and more details to put you inside the story, to feel that you are in the ancient Egypt. But the magic is always there because of the place. That's why this opera has been lived for centuries now. And all over the world they present Aida. And actually, I would like to mention here the importance of Aida as opera, not only for Egypt, but for all over the world.
Definitely.
Actually, Egypt has participated in the international event by financing and acting by ordering to write an opera for an Egyptian ancient history. And most of the big artists at that time, when Khidewi, Ismail has asked for, would like to participate. So they went to go to the ancient Egypt, they take from the temples, they inspire the story from the ancient time, they send it to be written in Italy, they bring it back to Merit here to write it from the Egyptian
It's one
museum.
very famous sad love story, I think.
Yeah,
it
even
surpassed
Verdi.
Romeo and Juliet as well in its nature.
Between love and duty, love and betrayed, because he fell in love with the slave of Egypt, and he was the general which is responsible about the war against Ethiopia at the time. He won the war, but he wanted to win as well his love. So he been considered as he cheated the Egyptian, and he was punished at last by death, putting a life on the temple.
That is a very, very touching story.
And can you imagine that this opera, all over the world, inspiring all the big artists, each one dream to do it as a director, each singer dream to put it on stage and to put it in his CV. Each artist would like to participate, especially when it is in a big event like what we're going to present in Egypt, because this is one of the biggest in the world. So Egypt here has participated by the artistical culture event all over the world.
It's definitely a trademark.
We present it as a gift to all the culture area all over the world. We give it as a gift because it's our finance.
It is.
We finance it. We
And
produce it for the world
Yes.
now. First time have been presented 1871.
Wow.
And immediately, the year after was in La Scala di Milano, presented. Immediately after in Opera Paris. 16 years later, it was in New York City, but everywhere.
It's spread, it's spread,
in
and it's still
Metropolitan.
ongoing after
it's
all
in
these
Moscow.
centuries.
Everybody knows what is
Definitely.
Egypt. Without saying, it's Egypt.
Of course, definitely. That's very inspiring to know and even to speak about. But again, let's talk about the ballet art as part of form of art. I know that you are a ballerina and you are a professor at the Academy of Arts, which is, again, one of the very special things that you can have to merge between academia and practicality. How important is that art here in Egypt today, or in the world in general today?
It's very elegant art.
It is an elegant art.
It's very elegant, and it teaches you how to be very professional, very cool, and it's very hard. Actually, we practice every day. we cannot lose one day because it's body. You are working with your own body, which is not a paper or a material that you can collect it. You collect your body and you order it and he has to obey you, which is not easy when you order your own body. And actually this is teach a lot of discipline when we are children, because we cannot learn it and being professional just like that in 1 or 2 years. We integrate the school dance when we are 8 years old. We follow international programs all over the world because it's international language, body language, with the terminology that we all know it. In French, it's like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si for music. We have our term as well that we don't have to translate anything.
Yes, it's standard.
It's standard language all over the world. So we are all speaking the same language, which means no need to translate. So we can group all over the world all these type of artists to make something together without conflict, because we have all the same love to this type of art. We have all the same volunteer to participate with the others, our art, our love to this art. Children fall in love in this. And actually Egypt has the priority now, and it's we give it to all over the Arab world around us. We can say the Egyptian television, the national Egyptian television, has really a big role at that. And because he presented in his screen most of the time, the Arab nation start to understand, not only Egypt. Egypt, they know it since the kingdom. Since we had the Khidewi Opera House, the Royal Egyptian Opera House, we know what it is, dance and ballet and music and opera singers.
Yes, now it has become more recognizable in the rest of the region, yes.
Yes. So Egyptian, it's not recent, even if they didn't assist, but they know what you're speaking about. They can understand. The simple person in the street, you tell him ballet, yes, she's flying. The one who is flying, she's walking her toys.
Yeah,
Minimum, when you say opera singers, yeah, they are screaming. So they have an image. But when you talk to other countries, they didn't even, what is that? So because Egypt is responsible about all the culture, artistic movement in all the Middle East, they start to understand that there is another type of art, academic and classical and international and elegant, and speaking to the beauty of human beings.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now everybody would like to learn it. Now I think that many children dream.
Yes, there's
to
a
be
lot of
dancers.
pioneering schools for ballet, and we've seen at least every class. You're talking about a third of, whether it's women or females or males, that are interested in this form of art. And that's again a change of culture, because usually when the term ballet comes upon, then you say, oh, it's a girl kind of an art. Now it's not like that anymore.
No, there is boys. No, there is boys, but actually boys when they want to be professional. Girls, it's amateur and professional.
Yes, it's like, yeah, part of you learning how to be,
femininity.
Yes,
we can say
exactly.
Dream to be a little princess. Always it's a dream of the girls to be a little princess. But boys, it's because they want to be professional. They take it as a sport and a hard sport. And
I think it goes along with gymnastics as well.
We do exercises, special exercise, not far away from gymnastics, but it's done for our...
Yes, for your... And that's maybe something else I want to ask you. Is this form of art something that you get better by time as you practice more, or the more professional you are, or it's passion and just more passion before anything else?
Without the passion, you cannot practice all the time. You would feel hurt or painful sometimes in your body, or most of the time we have pains from the practicing. Practicing,
yes.
It's naturally, it's a very hard sport, even if it is presented like a beautiful art, but we practice too much to make it that easy that I don't think when I don't think anymore.
I don't feel your pain when you're...
I don't have
when
pain. The pain
you.
was in the beginning when I was learning and rehearsing, but once I'm stage, I am enjoying. I am recorded. It's recorded in each part of my body that I don't have to think. It's my body who take the role and follow the music, and now we are getting the story. So without this passion, you cannot go on, because it's a hard work, daily work, and you have to repeat and repeat and practice and improve yourself all the time. And as I told you in the beginning, it's your body. You will not order it that you will hear you. You will not
Definitely.
tell your body, find me equilibrium.
Yes,
A
if you have a
balance.
very lazy
No,
body,
you have
wouldn't
to
want
practice him to
yes.
find this equilibrium. He will not hear you. Jump higher. He will not tell you, okay. He can hurt. If you insist and you are not ready, the muscle would be hurt. You can be injured. So at the same time, you have to be wise and you know how to make it in the right time, with the good time, not to be hurt and not to lose one of your capacity. You need to show all what your body can do because we have an exceptional body.
I'm glad you mentioned injuries, and I would like to talk about the level of injuries. Since every sport has a level of injuries, and even if you want to talk about horseback riding, for instance, it's like a deadly level of injuries. In the art of ballet, is that also? I mean, how would you rate the level of injuries? Would you get to an extent injured not to be able to play anymore? Would
Yeah.
it require
We can stop.
Yeah,
We can stop.
yeah, because a lot of people think it's easy once until they try to
Professional.
stand on their tiptoes and then they understand how difficult it is. But they don't think that there's no much of a movement kind of thing that would really put you in injury. Is that true? You've been doing this forever. Maybe you can share.
Well, injury is all the time. More we grown up, more we are teaching and learning more difficult steps. These steps are in need to have many difficulties. Your body should be flexible for you and ready for. The muscle should be strong enough to do the order that you give it, to fly, to jump, to stay in one jump, to turn 32 times in one leg in your toys. They are not hearing you that easy. So sometimes when we are practicing, like we are practicing every day, sometimes it can be
Stressful.
bad,
For the
bad,
nervous
just
system.
bad, how to say, not bad, but wrong. You have jumped, and when you come back to the earth, to the floor, you didn't come correctly. In one toy, if one toy is not in the right place,
Breaks.
this is affect all the muscles. And
That is true because, you know, if you go back to the Chinese medicine, they say that, you know, your feet literally links to all your organs, and they do the Chinese kind of medication for the body organs and whatever pain you have. So I could imagine with a lot of practice how much your whole body would be in pain.
Even
unless you have passion for it, then it
back,
wouldn't be.
arms, everywhere.
everywhere.
It's alive. It's a live body. It's not a dead body. It's not anybody. It's you feel each inch of your body and you control it.
There's
all the
always-
time
you
and
have
the
to be
speed
under
that
control.
you
And that's definitely why it
order.
teaches you some characteristics along the way when you're in that training part, or when you decide to go professional. It teaches you or gives you characteristics or changes the face of your personality. This is a very interesting topic, and unfortunately I was told that we just have a minute to go. And a lot of people I know that you would never mention ballet without, like, you know, giving the sign, having that beautiful smile, like, if only we could fly the way the ballerinas do. What would you want to say before we end our episode today about this art in particular?
Actually, I would like to say, when you have a dream of a little child, I will not say girl, boy, both are having the same right. The boys, little boys, they have the right to dance like the little girls. Just put them in the right school. And we have only one school in all Egypt and in all the Middle East. It's in the Academy of Art. It's just only for professional people. All outside this school are just amateurs. I'm sorry to say that.
Practitioners who just
It's
decide
programs.
to, yes.
We don't follow the programs because we don't choose the children with the measures that we are obliged to, because
Oh,
not
that's-
anybody
yes,
can do
yes,
this difficult.
yes.
It's a certain body that been created by God like that. We just
That
look
fits the
for,
criteria.
like the good voice. You just look for the good voice and then you train it. So we look for, and then we start to teach them on an international programs. It's not Egyptian programs. And these are hard. And this is only in the Academy of Art, which is belong to the Minister of Culture of Egypt administration. And it's really the unique school in all the Middle East, in all the Arab world, situated in Cairo,
That's
Egypt.
true. That's true. And
So we
and
need more.
We
This
need
is what I
more,
want.
more of support, and people aware to be that of the importance of that, because a lot of things have turned so commercial nowadays. And
True.
with all respect to people who professionally could be good practitioners, but that does not necessarily that academically they could be good teachers. Thank you very much, Dr. Sahar Hilmi Hilali, a professor at the Academy of Art and also a very prominent ballerina. Thank you very much for joining me
Thank you
today.
so
Cairo
much. I'm
Local Time.
happy being with you today.
Same here. It was my pleasure to get to meet you and looking forward for the upcoming event in October and of course to more upcoming events, and I'd love to see you again if you're still up on the stage to see you as close by performances by you. Thank you very much for joining us, and that brings to the end of our episode of Cairo Local Time today. I'm Yasmin Bakir filling in for my colleague in Jumail. Thank you for watching.